Good morning, beautiful family and friends, beautiful sacred light beings. Much love to all of you on this Venus. I wanted to hop on and share this live video as every day I get several emails and there's some very beautiful questions that are asked that I feel is very important uh, to address them as individuals that are asking for that assistance. And I felt this particular one because it's one that's been asked several times. I figured to just open it up and address it in a video format so that it can help others as well. So, having said that, I will begin just addressing something else first before I come into this. I had a client scheduled to do a live transmission. She was actually scheduled on Tuesday, but I woke up not feeling well. And some of you that are following, I was guided to go to the place 30 years ago where I used to live and had this memory about the person that had kidnapped all these children that was right in my neighborhood. So I felt guided to go there and offer a lot of prayer for these children and just what took place that I had really blocked out of my memory. You all can watch that video. So, anyways, this line was so gracious. We rescheduled for today. And today's been powerful as I prepared my vessel to go be able to be of service for her. Her Skype was having issues. So we decided to reschedule her in 2 weeks. And we were both so just in total trust, total divine alignment. It will be exactly when it's supposed to be. And I feel that's really important when we're working with these higher frequencies, particularly transmissions, when we're experiencing these, to have the flexibility and shift things around as well. Because for us who are serving our divine purpose, we're not running a business. So there's a lot of compassion, there's a lot of heart standing amongst each other. So we come and respect each other. So I wanted to share that as I go into this particular question that's been asked by a dear friend of mine, and I felt guided to open it up so perhaps you all can also benefit from it. Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Wendell. So nice to see you here. So I had a very dear friend of mine that had called and she wanted to find out um, as she's starting to make videos and to step really into her calling, coming out of that closet. She's been out of the closet, but the family doesn't fully support her, and she's starting to do more videos. So she reached out to me. She wanted to know how to navigate through this, where she knows I'm fully public, fully open, being an extraterrestrial being, being a galactic being, Arcturian star seed, Lyran, Andromedan, Syrian, hybrid, and fully share everything blast. And she wanted to know how I maneuvered in handling my family and others who were very, very judgmental towards towards my beingness and not accepting me. So I felt this is a really beautiful question because so many people are asking that. Because when you want to come out publicly, like social media is public, there's one thing when you write the post, there's another thing when you come behind the camera. And that's why I love live stream. You're just live, you're raw and you're real and you're sharing it. The will of you cannot be your human will. It has to be the higher will. It has to be the divine will to give you the strength and the courage first. Because if you want to go from your human will, it's limited. You are taking action based on individuals' perception of you. So automatically, that's not going to give you the power or the strength to be free from that attachment to step forward and serve your calling. Now, there are individuals that do still come on, but they kind of keep it at a surface level. They won't go deep. They won't show their fullness because, again, they are concerned about how individuals perceive them. So this question and answer that I'm responding to is exclusively for those individuals who are called to serve their divine mission, and they know, they feel it, and it's time, and they need some support how to navigate through this. So to navigate through this, number one really is, who are you answering to? If still your answer is, I have to please my family members, friends, colleagues, that means you're still not ready. So that means you're operating from your human will. And you're going to have to go in and really, it's in your solar plexus. You're going to have to take that flame and replace it with the divine flame. That divine flame, the divine will is right in your solar plexus. It's going to have to be beyond yours. It's connected to your I am presence, to your Christ itself, and you breathe it in and you pull it in. That's the number one important part. Your will has to be bigger than you, bigger than limitation, bigger than your conscious mind, bigger. It has to be the will of your heart, so much more grand. So that's number one. Number two, you have to recognize when you are being called to serve your divine mission. Next part is to start putting your video, coming on social media, really sharing. It's your initiation when you put the material out, and you're going to be slammed by some of your family members, some of the people that have known you from before, because you are coming out with, it is your out of coming the spiritual closet, sharing your truth. So this is part of your initiation to get strong, how you will handle the being rejected, being called names, being not embraced, being, if anything, flat out judged in the harshest way. So you have to experience that to see where in you is being pulled by this. This is a huge part of initiation that many people are afraid of. But when you recognize it's part of your passing the test, because you're going to have enough strength to stand in your raw truth. So these are part of the areas that your lower three chakras are going to be faced. And sometimes you feel like you're punched in the stomach by something that comes out, and especially family members and what have you. So you have to be able to stomach that. So to stomach that means, again, your will has to be divine's will to be able to stand that fire, stand in the presence of that incoming, let's say, energy that's coming from a retracted consciousness. So I'm just kind of laying this out. Next part is, for example, family members. So when you're coming out, we are incarnated into our family members for a specific purpose. We cannot not include the family members. There is some clear boundaries we draw, but these family members we're incarnated into them because at the end of it, this energy has to transmute into love. Now, there's some that the contract has come to its closure and you do not need to, no problem. You know that, but you're in ease, you're in peace. I don't have to have communication. There's no pull or trigger or anything like that. There are some maybe with a parent, like a mother or father or brother, what have you. And that's the next phase of the initiation, for you to step forward and start sharing your, let's say, for example, about the angels and the ascended masters, or your shamanic work with the power animals, and you drum or maybe you holler, of the wolf sounds and voices coming out of you. And then your family member, let's say it's a parent or brother or sister or whatever, feels very embarrassed by your presence. So this is another one that I've experienced, where they feel so embarrassed. Maybe you're wearing, like me, feathers, a lot of time feathers in your hair or bandana, and they're like, they just feel so embarrassed because you don't fit the societal model of so-called normal. That's another part for you to embrace their perception of you and to see where you are with it. Are you trying to please them because you've pleased them for a very long time? And that's beautiful. And but now it's to be like, okay, this is one of the things I did. It's okay that you don't like my feathers. I love my feathers and it makes me feel amazing. Like, yes, I do talk to the angels. Yes, I do talk to the loved ones that have crossed over. And it's your level of joy, your level of truth, standing in your presence is what determines how well you can carry this forth. Because if their judgment or their perception of you makes you crumble, that means you still have to strengthen this. Really, really strengthen. And the strengthening, they are a gift actually, because your lower three chakras, in the grounding of your truth, in vibrating the emotion, the energies of motion of your truth, and your sacred flame has to be aligned so you can speak very, freely from your heart. So if you look at them as, wow, they are a sacred part of me living my divine truth, and they are the ones who are sort of like, put in my path so they can voice what they want, and for me to still stand as a resurrection flame. That's a huge part of, again, your next level of initiation. So you need to know that when you want to serve your divine mission, you have to go through numerous initiations. You may have it really figured out, teaching your classes, facilitating your sessions, and what have you. Great, you have it, and there's the people who are, vibrating at your level. Perfect. But your true test is when you are meeting the individuals who are not of the same resonance of you, whose limited perception cannot capture you, because it can't be boxed, it's too open, it makes them uncomfortable. So they do project from their, not out of wanting to hurt you, because it just tackles the areas that they're attached to, so makes them very uncomfortable, because they can't box you in or put you in anywhere that will make them feel safe. So that's part of the thing. And then they'll feel judged. So I went through this myself in my family. And at first, of course, it's a journey. I would be thrown around, and including my children. Mama, it's embarrassing. Don't do this. Don't put feathers in you. Don't put bandana. I don't want to. And I had to continuously keep going forward with it. Even though my children, they love me, they would feel like, mommy, please, please. They wanted to like hide me because mommy's too much. Yet when their friends would come, their friends wanted to talk. They knew I was a medium. They're like, oh, I want to talk to your mom. But they were very embarrassed. Anyway, having said that, there was a period that I actually, when it came to my mother, I had to disconnect for a while. And this period of disconnection was very, very important for me, not out of not loving my mother. My mother, for her, because of all the challenges in her life, she did not have the opportunity to dive into the space that I've been able to dive in. So not from a place of hurting me, but she was acting from the place where was her limited perception. So she want, and also the cultural part, like don't share things, don't be public, don't this, it embarrasses the family. It's for the whole family. And I recognize this is part of my contract as I came into this incarnation to make sure I break all of those contracts, the cultural, the societal, the all of those things that had been placed. I've had to break them one by one by one. So as a result, marry outside the race, marry outside the religion, marry, like everything, one by one in this incarnation, I have had to break them. So then be put in a position to speak about it. So for a period, I did have to disconnect from my mother. She was on Facebook friends with me, so she would just monitor everything, and then she would call and ask, "Why did you say this? Why did you say this?" And that was a beautiful part of my journey. Like first having to be very defensive, first having to really wanting to just get defensive and go in a battlefield, try to explain myself and all of that, to completely different energy where just in there's this peace, there is nothing to defend, this is my truth, I'm standing in it. But she was a huge part of not being able to fully accept me, to completely accepting and respecting, and also being on this, then wanting to really hear what I have to say as an extraterrestrial being, which is like such an incredible gift. And she wants to hear what the higher dimensional beings want to say. With this has been so closed up. So again, um, this was very important. The more I stood and I grounded in my truth and in my heart, and I did go through the journey of getting mad, getting upset, getting frustrated, getting so lack of support, all of this. I had to face all of those energies in motion because the role that was being played out, let's say by my mother or my family member, they were helping me bring these energies, emotions out for me to see them, to face them, to address them, so that I can stand in my truth, in my resurrection flame, even greater, to be able to mm, have this inner conversation with my higher team, the truth that I knew between the angels and the masters and higher dimensional contact, to allow their wisdom, their grace to come underneath my wings so that I can communicate even greater, but with my vibration stronger. So, this is again a very important part of your initiation. And at one point, I needed to give myself permission to disconnect for a while so I can get even stronger. The more, this was the time where live stream began. So I can start to come in unedited, whatever needed to come in, so I can just share it. And that started giving me more of that grounding in the truth of that which I am of service to. So, of course, it's a journey. It takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. So, to answer the sacred friend of mine's question, how do I navigate my family members that are so judgmental, my father or my mother and my children, and I kind of want to hide it? So for me, I had my personal page. Then I had this Honey Burden author speaker healer page that's like over 7,000 people on here, which I'm so grateful to all of you. So On my personal page, which many of the family members were friends with, I began to not share much there. And I started putting what I felt called on this page. And so they had the choice to like this page or not like. And I felt that was the portal that I also asked the help from the angels to help me so I can start to um, share it, put my videos out, and go through this. And the most important video I did several years ago was the coming out publicly of what happened when I died, because I had hidden that so much from all my family members, and I didn't want them to know the details. So when I came out 4 years ago in detail describing what happened when I died, when I went to spirit side, that was my liberation. And when I did that, I was like, I'm out. I mean, I've been out, but this is like way out. And these past 4 years, I've been servicing to the planetary grid work in this. Here's what's called. And so there was no putting me back in the closet at all, because I've been out of the closet for many years. So you do have to put a very strong action in to demonstrate that to yourself who you're answering to. If you are still feeling you have to answer to your mother, to your father, to your children, to your colleague, because you have to please them, that means your energy is more still being spread in the third dimensional consciousness, and it's not the fullness of the one that you need to call to deliver your divine mission. When you have had the calling, it's called and knocked on the door of your heart to serve your grand mission on earth, you're only answering to one. That's why many of us, we let go of businesses, we let go of LLC, we shut everything down because it's none of that anymore. Like, I work for divine. I am hired by divine. I work for Divine Inc., if you want to call it. Like, there's nobody else I answer to but the one. And I stand up to the one every day in my naked truth and answering, how did I do today? How did I serve? You are a witness. Where are the areas that still need to be straightened? Where are the areas that I expanded even further than the day before and the weeks before? So it's this continuous inner evaluation of ascension and descension, bringing the goods onto earth. How much more was I able to expand so that I can bring divine's goods, the virtues in through me, and being of the greatest service. So most of you know, I always say, I'm not here, I'm not running a business. I am serving a calling. So I'm not interested in marketing. I'm not interested in any of that. None of that resonates, because that's not where my truth is. I have a fulfillment of a mission, and that means that's where my will is very strong with the divine. had to I had to replace that. I said, take over me, give me the power and strength to fulfill this. I can't, my human self cannot do this. It's too big. I don't have the strength, I don't have the courage, I don't have any of that. I can't even do it, because my initiation was me being separated from my children. There's nothing till this day, nothing, nothing was the most heart-wrenching experience for me. To answer a call, I did everything that was asked, to answer a call to be separated from my children, to get on the road and fulfill something that I couldn't even grasp. So I had to call in the higher presence and ask my will to become God's will, divine will, so I can have this strength. And that was my initiation of ascension, my inner mastery, so I can serve others. So I share this because I feel it is of so much service for others. So if you're coming out publicly, number one, it's beautiful. Maybe you can start to share your video on private, like for example, groups, so that you can start to get more comfortable with this. The more comfortable you get with this, it's a muscle you're developing. That muscle has to get strengthened, and you will get the haters. I can't express to you the amount of haters that will come forward. You will have many that will be inspired by you, but you will also be met by the haters. Now, they too have a very particular purpose. Again, you embrace them with so much love. The haters that just cannot accept your presence because you're standing in your truth, that energy really pushes on their shadow, and they will come like this with every venom they have, and they will want to wipe you in every possible way to make rumors about you, to discredit you, to spread lies, to whatever, and just really shame and embarrass, whatever that is also part of this. So you're going to have, again, strong stomach, strong heart, strong grounding in your truth, strong in your vibration of the fluids in you, so that you can stand and serve your divine mission. And the divine mission is your divine feminine that feels that divine masculine. So it's both have to be balanced. So even the haters, like some of you that have followed for a long time, you know about the Jesus lover hater, particular person that I've been blessed. Now, I have met Master Yeshua, the Christ, in spirit side. Like, there's so many of these ones talk. I met beloved Yeshua, and there are no words. And so many of you know how much I love him. I will never, ever claim ever Christianity, because it's a religion. I debunk religion. Bless all of that. That's not for me, because that's not the truth that was revealed in my revelation when I was in spirit side, when I died on January 8th, 2012. The love I experienced from Yeshua was not around religion in any way. So I cannot and that's why I haven't become popular, like, all these books and all of that, because usually it ties to Christianity. So those who have crossed over and they've met Master Jesus the Christ and what have you, Christians want to claim, so you can become part of the Christian movement, spreading the word of Christ. I cannot do that in my consciousness at all. For me, it's the Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness does not have a religion around it. The Christ consciousness is a key coded crystalline diamond heart that is activated within all humanity in golden age, given the opportunity to serve it. So that's why I just cannot reduce that great presence to a religion-based consciousness that was from the mental construct, not the heart. So having said that, those have been also part of me being blasted by many of these Jesus lover haters, like literally hate, to a point of even threatening my children, because I would not claim to be Christian. I would not have, because I met Master Yeshua, to become part of the Christian movement. So you gotta again stomach that. So they are also part of the initiation, you standing in your divine truth. So if you want to answer this call, you've already answered the call to the great creator. Beautiful. You must accept as a public figure, if you're standing up publicly serving. Now, you can be private, no problem, stay behind the scene. But if you're called to come public, like here's a public platform, you also are responding to the next, which means I am going to be met with resistance. I'm going to be met with a lot of vibration that is in disharmony with my truth. So I need to develop a muscle how to address these limited perceptions and the venoms that come out of the negative perceptions, while at the same time I will be meeting these great connections that together we lift up even greater as an octave of light. And at the same time, being very, very careful in recognizing that when you're answering the call, you're answering the call on behalf of the collective, and you're not answering a call on behalf of the old energy consciousness of any guru type at all. So, not creating a cult, not creating that. It is part of the divine mission. Those of us who've called to a divine mission, our call is to give the power back to the people, because the power has been given back to us. So in order for you, if that power has been called back to you, that means you have to accept it. Now you have to go through the initiation of delivering the muscle that has to be trained. So this is why when you come publicly like this, you're going to have to face the family members. You have to write your post to get slammed to see whether you're going to have a response or you're going to have a reaction. That is your indicator where you are on your ascension journey. And it gives you the opportunity to strengthen, go back and constantly being sent to the drawing board. Go back and strengthen this. Go back this, strengthen this. You don't have it figured out, you're going to have to be sent back till you figure it out, because you are taking on a much larger role that you agreed on the soul plane to come in. And you agreed when you're serving a grand divine mission to go through every lesson, every lifetime, bring it all together at once. So that means you've signed up for a lot and you've already gone through your personal journey just in your carnation, and most often in your very, very dysfunctional family that you incarnated into, so that that can become your training ground. So finally, when you are older enough, you've developed enough maturity and wisdom, now the divine will has to come up. So your triple flame is very intact, and then you come in. So to wrap this up, it's your breath, it's your truth, is the light stream, and your daily discipline practice. All I know is you don't have a strong discipline practice, you're going to get slammed left and right. And you're not going to be able to withstand all those harsh and really ugly, dark that will be coming your way for you to handle. Your discipline has to be higher, and the highest of all is self-love. So the divine love engulfs you. You have to allow the love of divine to fully embrace you. And that's the biggest stretching you're going to have to do, that you're worthy of it, you're deserving of it, because you have a big call to deliver. And from that, then inviting the will of divine in, the flame of divine, the breath of divine, the virtue of divine, the discipline of divine, and so many others. Then from there, you put it into practice and you meet either the response or the reaction. And that takes you to another octave, another response, reaction, another octave, response, reaction, another octave. And you keep expanding in your octave of light, and your family members are a very important part of it. Now, you will also see some friends and some colleagues that are part of this as well. And at some point, you will see that the energies are going to separate apart. That's fine. You chase nothing and no one. But you will also have to stand up in your grace of your divinity when you are being completely wrong. And that is also part of you standing up in your truth, not like this, but in the grace of divine. That's the next part of your initiation. So, mad respect for any of us that have gone through levels and levels and levels and levels. And we can be here in ease and peace and share, because the ease and peace is the natural byproduct of living in our truth. We don't create it, there's nothing to create. It already is when we align vibrationally with its presence. That is the gift, the present that is returned back to the individual as a result of emanating its fullest truth. So I hope this really assists and support you. And I'm more than happy to answer more questions this way, because every day I receive so many questions and I just can't write a whole thing. It takes so much energy. So I figured if I address this way, it will help so many more of you. And if you have any question right now, I will regarding this particular, I will answer. Let me just scroll to see what you have shared, if it lets me. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Let me just take it to where it is. Thank you for those of you who joined here. So I just see from the comment of Danielle Brown, extraterrestrial and green heart, emerald green. Thank you so much. You have been through an amazing journey. That's Sandra. I'm so happy for you. Thank you, Sandra. It's been an amazing journey indeed. Very bitter and sweet. And I am very grateful to be on this side. Thank you. Hi, Jay. Nice to see you. Wow, Danielle, I resonate. Yes. Dimitris, thank you. Thank you for everyone participating. Neda June, I love you. Thank you. Ella May, nice to see you. I haven't seen you here before. Thank you for joining. Vicky Cunningham. Yes, Vicky is a dear sacred sister of mine. We met in London at the Alchemy, the New Humanity, where I was one of the 21st speakers that was speaking 6 years ago. Hello, Dana. Hello, Lala Love. Nice to see you. Hi, Licia. I love you. I love you. Hello, Kathy. Nice to see you. So let me see if there are any comments. Hello, Carmen. Nice to see you. Hello, Parisa. Nice to see you. So let's see, Sandra. Honey, give me the will to pass this initiation. Mine is my children. I have begun to put my own videos on my page for strength. I'm feeling to push to higher. I understand what you're saying. Thank you. I can't give you any will, sweetheart, Sandra. Your will resides in you, and it's the divine. We are all being put to stand up and bring the conscious in. I'm very glad that Parisa and Neda, who are also Iranian incarnates on this call, I am fully rejected by the Iranian community. I don't even speak properly in their language. I don't follow any of the proper traditions. I don't culturally, because I've rejected so much of it because I could see right through it. So there are only a couple of Iranians that I can communicate where their consciousness has arisen. It's not stuck in this, but there's always this intriguing energy where some of them, they want to communicate, but they don't know how, because I'm so out of the box. I don't fit into their construct following at all. So it creates sometimes an inspiration, but also flat out like keep honey as far as the way she frightens me, because also they're very scared that I've died and I've come back, and also that I'm a medium. I speak to people on spirit side and angels and masters, and this is just a total like I get scared to be in that energy field. So it's kind of interesting. Hi, Janice. Nice to see you. Yes, Master Yeshua transcended all religion. Indeed. Hello, Amy Moon from Los Angeles. Let me see if there's anybody else that is making any comment. Hi, Barbara. Nice to see you. Sandra says, I trust your profound words. I shall go get busy this moment, working on myself, working on my family. So I want to say something. There's nothing to work. It's just alignment of your truth. The love of the creator in you has to be so much bigger than you. And the love of creator engulfing you has to be allowed in you. You want to serve a great calling. You've incarnated from lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, not fully being able to deliver your highest truth, your highest vision, your highest service to earth and humanity. So if that divine mission has called in, that means the divine has to come, have your back support, front support, side support, above support, below support, which means you have to allow the divine part of you, your I am presence, your higher self come in. So if you are also letting yourself go to your limitation, you are in disservice to you. But if limitation comes, bring the divine in you into it and expand it so it too transcends back into light, so that you can fully serve the calling. There is no work to be done here. Work is a third dimensional consciousness. And that is what we're freeing ourselves. We're freeing ourselves out of the construct of the slavery mentality. There's no work to be done. It is the labor of love in its attunement and alignment that is giving you the opportunity to stand in your truth, to serve your greater calling. So I want to just rephrase that language. Watch the language in which you're rephrasing, recommunicating, so that that truth can step forward to assist you with your divine mission. And finally, if you need to take a little time so that you can post your post, maybe on a blog, do so. Just know if you got to write it, post it, this is part of your calling to develop the muscles and the strength. If you got to come up, you got to maybe perfect your words behind the scene before you come up. That's fine. Go do that. But the best is live stream. Be live because you can't go correct it. You're right here. You're raw. There's nothing good. When you can be raw, you're raw in your soul, you're raw in your truth. On the outside, no matter what comes, it can't slam you because you faced you and all your impurities already. Nobody can shame you no more. Believe me, because you've had to face the ultimate shame, ultimate dark, ultimate shadow in the presence of your divine truth. So now you've only arisen from your resurrection and from ashes. Now is serving from your divine love. And you engulf all your family members and loved ones in that presence because they have been the most important part of your truth that is here to serve where you are serving from. So I hope that assists you. And I give so much gratitude for this opportunity to my dear sister that sent me the email asking me for help so I could address this. If any of you have other questions that I can answer, please tell me so I can give this opportunity and I'll share it raw as I always do, and I'll make another video. So thank you so much, everyone. So much love to all of you. I really appreciate that you took the time in being here today with me, in your presence, in your grace, in your vibration. And I love all these love buttons that are floating. And if this video helped you, please feel free to share it with others. When you share it, you're also standing behind a vibration that is calling you, and you are standing up to the truth. That is one of the most beautiful gifts that you can give yourself and others. And in that presence, here's like, hey, I'm standing behind my truth, and I'm standing behind this person's truth that's standing up. And the universal forces assist you in standing up. I have so many amazing individuals, such as Demetrius, such as Simone, such as Licia, such as, and there's so many of you, Janice, Sandra, there's so many of you that are constantly reshared my video. And I know what you are doing because you are seen. When you share, you're standing up behind that vibration. Universal forces support your vibration. That means, look, I'm open. I got nothing to hide. Whereas I see many, they do see my post. They won't even like it or love it and make even comment. Those of you that have taken the time making a comment, I love and appreciate your presence, your courage, because many don't even have the courage because, again, as I stand in this presence, I shake the reality of their consciousness that they are rejecting within themselves. So if they associate with me or let's say we share my post or whatever, it creates how others will perceive them. You see what I mean? So it's a fascinating phenomena, and you are only, if you're answering the call of your divine mission, you see all of these so clearly, and you continue to be the instrument of exactly the way the Creator is utilizing your field to serve through you. You're an instrument. That means you're an allowed channel, so that in multiple ways, this frequency can express itself through you. And it's magnificent. So much love. Aho namaste, en lakesh, banurish, hash hash. This is also recording on my YouTube channel, also available. And thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you.